Dear students, I am Mahesh Jabalkar of Maratha Mandal Polytechnic, and today I am posting my seventh video on the DCET questions for the subject BEEE, that is Basic Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Okay, so let's start with the questions. Question number 121: the frequency of an alternating current is. Okay, now whenever we see the definition of frequency, we say that it is number of cycles per second. Number of cycle means one cycle will have a positive half cycle and negative half cycle. So number of cycles per second, that option is not there in these four options given. The first option is speed with which the alternator runs. Second option is the number of cycles generated in 1 minute. This is not correct. The third says the number of waves passing through a point in 1 second. And the fourth says the number of electrons passing through a point in 1 second. Okay, so C option, that is number of waves. One wave means a positive and negative half cycle. So number of waves passing through a point in 1 second can also be taken as frequency. So frequency, basically we say it is number of cycles per second, but now here in this option the number of waves passing through a point in 1 second can be the right answer. Clear? So here you can see the number of waves passing through a point in 1 second is the frequency of alternating quantity. Clear? Then we'll go to the next question. Question number 122. The unit of frequencies. This is a very basic question. The unit of frequency, that is number of cycles per second, is hertz. So option D, hertz, will be the right answer here. Hertz is the unit of frequency. Then we'll go to the next question. Question number 123. In an AC circuit, sine wave with R and L in series. Okay, R and L in series. Which is the following statement which is correct? So voltage across R and L are 180-degree out of phase. The voltage across R lags the voltage across L by 90-degree. The voltage across R leads the voltage across L by 90-degree. And voltage across R and L are in phase. We should always remember here that whenever we use RLC circuit, the voltage in L will lead the voltage in R, and the voltage in C will lag the voltage in R. Okay. So according to this basic statement, the second statement, that is the voltage across R lags the voltage across L by 90-degree. That means voltage across L leads the voltage across R by 90-degree. Okay, so statement B is correct. The voltage across resistance lags the voltage across inductance, or in other words, you can say the voltage across inductance leads by 90-degree as compared to voltage across resistance. Clear? So here statement B will be the right one. Then we'll go to the next question. Question number 124. A current is set to be alternating when it changes in magnitude only, direction only, both magnitude and direction, none of the above. Okay. So here, when we say a current is setting in alternating, means we are speaking about what is positive and negative half cycle, positive and negative half cycle. So every time along the time, you can see that the magnitude and direction both changes. Magnitude and direction both changes in positive half cycle also and negative half cycle. If you take the instantaneous value, the magnitude and direction both changes. The value of the amplitude and the direction also changes. Okay, so option C will be the right answer here. A current is said to be in alternating when it changes in both magnitude and direction. Okay, then we'll go to the next question. Question number 125. In case of inductive circuit, okay, in case of inductive circuit, frequency is dash proportional to the inductance L or inductive reactance XL. We know that inductive reactance XL is given as 2 pi FL, or we can also write it as omega L. Okay, so XL can also be given as omega L. Now here if you see the frequency, this is the frequency is directly proportional to the inductive reactance. So here it is directly proportional. If frequency increases, inductive reactance will increase. If frequency decreases, inductive reactance will decrease. Okay. So here the option A will be the right one, directly proportional. So in case of inductive circuit, the frequency is directly proportional to the inductance or inductive reactance XL. Okay. Then we'll go to the next question. Question number 126. In inductive circuit, when inductance L or inductive reactance XL increases, the circuit current decreases. But what happens to the circuit power factor? Now we know that power factor is given as cos phi. Okay, we know that power factor is given as cos phi, and we usually take it as your true power upon apparent power. So Vi cos phi upon Vi. Okay, so that is true power upon apparent power. So here power factor. So he is asking in inductive circuit when the inductance or inductive reactance increases, what happens to the power factor, whether it increases or decreases or remains same or none other. So for this we'll take one example. We'll see here when inductance L, for example, when inductance L is 0.02 Henry, voltage is 220 volt, resistance is 10 ohms, okay, and frequency is 50 hertz. Okay, XL, that is inductive reactance, is given as 2 pi FL, which is 6.28 ohms, and impedance is given as under root R square plus XL square, which is 10 square plus 6.28 square whole square, 10 square plus 6.28 square, and square root of that, which is giving you answer as 11.8. Okay, and then the current is equal to voltage upon impedance. Okay, that is 220 upon 11.8, and that is equal to 18.64. If you take cos theta of r by z, okay, cos theta of r by z, then you can see here this is the answer 0.85 in the first case. In the first case it is 0.85. Now if you increase the inductance from zero point 0.02 to 0.04, and if you do the same procedure, if you take the same procedure, then the cos phi, that is r by z, is equal to 10 upon 16.05, and in that case you will get 0.75. Now here if you compare these both values, if you compare the both values, the first value was 0.85 and the second value is 0.75. So if you increase the inductance L, or if you increase the inductive reactance, the power factor will decrease. The power factor will decrease. We have shown here, first it was 0.85 in the first case, and in the second case it is 0.75. So it is decreasing. So here the answer is also decreases. In inductive circuit, when inductance or inductive reactance XL increases, the circuit current decreases, but the circuit power factor also decreases. Clear? Then we'll go to the next question. In inductive circuit, when inductance L or inductive reactance XL increases, the circuit current will increase or decrease or remain same or none of them. Okay. So in inductive circuit, when the inductance L or reactance XL increases, so here we know that reactance XL is equal to 2 pi FL. Okay. Now, if this is reactance, which is opposition to the flow of current, opposition to the flow of current, it is just like resistance. Okay. So it is the opposition to the flow of current provided by the inductor. Okay. Now, if that increases, the circuit current will should decrease because somebody is opposing the flow of current. That means here option B will be the right answer. It should decrease. Okay. So in inductive circuit, if inductive reactance increases, the circuit current decreases. Then we'll go to the next question, question number 128. In case of capacitive circuit, frequency is dash proportional to the capacitance or capacitive reactance. Okay, so frequency is dash proportional. Now we know that in capacitance, capacitive reactance Xc is given as 1 upon 2 pi Fc. Okay, now here the frequency is inversely proportional to capacitive reactance, because if frequency increases, capacitive reactance decrease, and if frequency decreases, capacitive reactance increases. So here the relation between capacitive reactance and frequency is inverse. So here option B, inversely, will be the right answer. Okay, then we'll go to the next question, question number 129. In case of capacitive circuit, capacitance C is dash proportional to the capacitive reactance. Okay, so again the same type of question, but here he has asked about capacitance C. So here we know that capacitive reactance is equal to 1 by 2 pi Fc. So value of C here will be inversely proportional to the capacitive reactance. So capacitance is inversely proportional to the capacitive reactance. So here option B, inversely proportional, will be the right answer. Then we'll go to the next question, question number 130. In a capacitive circuit, when capacitance C increases, the circuit current also increases. Then the circuit power factor, what happens to the circuit power factor? Whether it will increase or decrease or remain same or none of the above. So this is a capacitive circuit. So again here we will take one example. So in this example we see that a capacitance C is equal to 500 microfarad, or it is 5 into 10 to the power of minus 4. V is equal to 220, R is equal to 10, okay, C is equal to 500 microfarad, F is equal to 50 hertz. In this case, if you find out what is capacitive reactance Xc is equal to 1 by 2 pi Fc is equal to 6.37 ohms. And then if you see the impedance Z, it is under root R square plus X square. If you substitute the values, you will get 11.85 ohms. Then if you find out current, that is V upon Z, it is 18.56 ampere. And then if you know what is power factor, cos theta is equal to resistance upon impedance is equal to 10 upon 11.85 is equal to 0.84. So here in the first case, we took the value of power factor as 0.84 when your capacitor was 500 microfarad. Now if you increase the capacitance to 1000 microfarad, and if you do the same procedure, we will get the power factor here as 0.95. So what is happening? If you increase the capacitance, the power factor value is increasing. Okay, so the option should be increases. In a capacitor circuit, when the capacitor increases, the circuit current also increases, then the circuit power factor also increases. Okay, then we'll go to the next question, question number 131. If power factor, which is equal to cos theta, is equal to 1, it means that option A is input is equal to output, power in is equal to power out, the circuit is resistive only, and the angle theta between voltage and current is 0. So here cos theta, if you take cos theta is equal to 1, cos theta is equal to 1, that means theta is equal to 0 degree, because cos of 0 degree is equal to 1. Okay, that means the option D, the angle theta between voltage and current is 0. That is the right answer here. So here you can see if power factor is 1, then the angle between voltage and current is 0. Okay. Then we'll go to the next question, question number 132. A reciprocal of power factor is what? Okay, so reciprocal of power factor. Now power factor can be given in many ways. So it is cos theta, which is your true power upon apparent power. So here we will see opposite of power factor is called as Q factor or quality factor of a coil, or it is a figure of merit. Quality factor is equal to 1 upon power factor, which is equal to 1 upon cos theta, which is equal to Z upon R. If you take Z upon R, you can see in the last statement, if Q is equal to Z upon R, then that is equal to omega L upon R, that is equal to 2 pi FL upon R. So 2 pi FL upon R is nothing but your a quality factor Q. Okay, that means power factor and quality factor are a reciprocal to each other. Clear? That means here a reciprocal of power factor is equal to quality factor. Then we'll go to the next question. Power factor cos theta is equal to dash what? So first option is kilowatt upon kilovolt ampere. Second option is R upon Z. Third option is the cosine angle between current and voltage. All the first three options are correct. It can be kilovolt upon kilovolt ampere. It can be resistance upon impedance. It can be the cosine angle between voltage and current. So here if you see, power is equal to VI cos theta. Therefore cos theta is equal to P upon VI. Okay, cos theta P in watts upon VI. So it is watts upon volt ampere. Okay, so here you can see this is watts upon volt ampere. So this can be kilowatt upon kilovolt ampere. This is for the first option. The second option says that cos theta is equal to resistance upon impedance. That is also true. So here you can see the second option, or resistance upon impedance. Okay, and the third option, the cosine angle between current and voltage. So P is equal to VI cos theta. Okay, so all these statements are true. So all the above is true. Power factor can be given as kilowatt upon kilovolt ampere, or it can be given as a resistance upon impedance, and it can be given as the cosine of the angle between current and voltage. Okay, then we'll go to the next question, question number 134, the relationship between impedance Z and admittance Y. Okay, so here we are speaking about impedance Z and admittance Y. So impedance will come into picture. Impedance will come into picture if you are having a RL or RC or RLC circuit. Okay, so impedance is like opposition to the flow of current. It is like resistance. Impedance is the opposition to the flow of current. Okay, similarly, admittance admittance will be allowing the current, which is like a conductance, which is like a conductance. Now if you represent impedance as Z, then admittance should be a reciprocal of that. Okay, so it is 1 by Y, and admittance Y is equal to 1 by Z. Okay, so impedance is equal to 1 upon admittance, or admittance is equal to 1 upon impedance. So here option A will be the right answer. Z is equal to 1 upon Y. Okay, then we'll go to the next question. Form factor for a sinusoidal waveform is. Okay, now the form factor is the ratio between RMS value if you multiply by the maximum value upon the average value if you multiply by the maximum value. So if you take this, form factor is equal to 0.707 into maximum value upon 0.637 into maximum value. This is nothing but 1.11. If you take this 0.707 upon 0.637, you will get 1.11, and 1.11 is the form factor for a sinusoidal waveform. It is the ratio of its RMS value to its average value. Okay, so 1.11 is the answer here. Then we'll go to the next question, question number 136. For the circuit given below, the approximate value of reactance, impedance, current, and power factor is dash respectively. So he has given four answers. Now in this circuit, we see that the voltage is 200 volts, frequency is 50 hertz, the resistance is 100 ohms, and the inductance is 100 millihenries. Okay. Now you have to find out the current, and then you have to find out the impedance, you have to find out the reactance, and you have to find out the power factor. So if you see the calculations here, for the circuit, the inductive reactance is given as R, that is inductive reactance is given as 2 pi FL. So if you substitute the value of FL, you will get 31.4 ohms as the reactance value. So here you can see in the first time we get reactance as 2 pi FL which is 31.4. Okay, and then impedance is given as Z is equal to under root R square plus XL square. If you substitute the value, you will get impedance as 104.8 ohms. And then the value of current I is equal to voltage upon impedance. That is equal to, if you substitute those values again, you will get 1.9 amperes. The phase difference is given as theta is equal to tan inverse XL upon R. So here you will get, if you substitute XL and R, you will get the phi or theta, anything you can call, as 17.43 degrees. And if you take cos phi or cos theta, which is power factor, it is 0.95. Now these options are in option B of the answer: 31.4 ohms, 104.8 ohms, 1.9 amperes, and 0.95. So option B will be the right answer here. Then we'll go to the next question, question number 137. For the circuit given in the previous question, okay, that is the same circuit what we have shown here, the power consumed is how much? Okay, now here we see that voltage is equal to 200 volts, and our current we have to find out because you are having a resistance in series with inductance. Okay, so if you see the our calculation here, so voltage is equal to 200 volts and a current will be 1.9 amperes. Okay. Then power factor cos theta is equal to 0.95 as we have calculated in our last question. And then if power factor is cos phi is equal to 0.95, then power is equal to VI into cos phi. That is voltage is 200, current is 1.9 and cos phi is 0.95. So if you multiply all these three, you will get power as 361 watts. So here the option B will be the right answer, 361 watts. Then we'll go to the next question. For a series RLC circuit, at resonance, the voltage drop across capacitive and inductive components is what? Large, small, zero, or infinite. Okay. Now here, voltage drop across capacitive and inductive components will be large, and voltage drop across resistance will be small, and therefore the current flowing through the resistance will be large. Okay, that means at series resonance the capacitive reactance and inductive reactance will get cancelled out and the circuit remains only with a resistance, and in that case the voltage drop is less for resistance and the current is more. That means the voltage drop across capacitive and inductive should be large. That means option A will be the right answer over here. Clear? Then we'll go to the next question, question number 139. The Q factor of a coil is given by, okay. So the Q factor is given as omega L upon R, okay, omega L upon R, or it can also be given as 2 pi FL upon R, okay, or it can also be told as XL upon R. Clear? So in this way, you can define what is your quality factor. So quality factor can be given as 2 pi FL upon R, or it can be given as omega L upon R, or it can also be given as XL, reactance of the inductance upon resistance. Okay. So here option D will be the right answer, XL upon R. Okay. Then we'll go to the next question, question number 140. Which among the following condition is true at resonance? So we know that at series resonance, the reactance of the capacitor is equal to the reactance of the inductor and they both get cancelled out, and that is why the circuit remains only with resistance, and that is why the current will be maximum at resonance. So at resonant frequency the current will be maximum. That means the a condition is reactance of capacitor should be equal to reactance of inductor. That means XC should be equal to XL. So option B will be the right answer for this question. Okay, XC is equal to XL. Okay. Now students, in this video I have taken 20 questions. Now in my next video, I will take another 20 questions on the next topic of the same subject. Thank you very much.